Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy D Will, back at it again with another episode of the D Will Show, episode 112. We got 112 of them in the bag. If you don't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, the D Will Show, Spotify, Apple, Google. We on all that, so be sure to go subscribe, follow, and all that. Today, I got the OG tapping in. John Lucas III. So if you're a real hooper, you know OG played in the NBA for a while, played pro, D-League, overseas, stuff like that. So we're gonna bring the OG in real quick. Hey, what's good, Brody?
D, what up?
OG.
Oh man, I'm great, blessed.
So you
No
good?
complaint.
Man. So man, I appreciate you, tapping in when I hit you. You
Yeah,
was like, let's
yeah,
do it.
no
I'll be
problem.
available when you want to do it. So that's what for sure. Like I was saying before, many people that's probably gonna watch this right now probably didn't get a chance to watch our first one. So I kind of want to go back to the beginning a little bit, OG. Born in DC, you know what I mean? Spent time there, kind of moved around a little bit, in Pennsylvania. How was your upbringing for you, being, the son of a, NBA player, coach, stuff
Upbringing
like that?
great. I can't really say too much. That's the only way I know. You know what I'm saying? So it was more
Yeah, yeah.
my dad just let me be me. If I didn't decide to play basketball, he would have been cool, whatever. But when I took to it, he was like, "This is what you're gonna do. Let me show you how to be a pro. All right, if this is what let me show you how to get to college or D1, or this is what it's gonna take. Like, you only can't get to nowhere because of your last name. You got to put the work in yourself. So that was upbringing, was just like you got to go get it
Yeah.
yourself. Like I didn't got it, but it's on you now. It's on you to get.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I was raised. But like
Yeah.
living in different cities and stuff is really what molded me. Because I can really go anywhere I want to, and I know how to adapt to whatever it is, whatever city or wherever I'm at. I can adapt because I move so much throughout my whole childhood.
Did you feel like you had a target on your back, so to speak? You know what I mean? How you feel like you got to maintain that
Oh,
name.
absolutely,
People gonna be coming for you. Stuff
absolutely.
like that. Yeah.
That target's on your back because your last name, everything your pops has accomplished. Being the number one draft pick, first point guard ever taken number one. The second one was AI. Third was D Rose. Number one as a point guard. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Um, so of course your
Yeah.
last name hold weight, and everybody. I just thank God that I wasn't out when social media and stuff out now. It would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But when you step in on that court, man, you gotta hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Like Dad always used to tell me, protect the family name.
Yeah.
Don't be out there, protect our name,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, people gonna try to build their name off of when I was younger, I used to hear like parents before the game starts like, "Yo, you know who you playing against? You playing against John Lucas' son. He's like, you go out there and do that, we might make a name for ourselves." And I take that as fuel and be like, "Nah, fuck
Yeah.
that. Like, well, I'm gonna show you who I
Yeah.
am, and I'm gonna show you why we stand the way we stand, and we walk the way we walk." That was my edge when it came to
Yeah.
playing. Was like, I ain't gonna make a name off me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna show you why we cut different on this side. Like don't let
For sure.
me living in a nice house and living in a great neighborhood. Don't think I ain't ready to go to the trenches and ready to roll my sleeves up and get dirty, because that's how my pops, raised us. I
Yeah.
didn't play basketball in my neighborhood. He'll take us to the Boys and Girls Club in the middle of the hood. He'll get us out of our normal
Mm-hmm.
and put us in situations of like, all right, I'll be back. I'll be back in 2 hours, man. Watch out for your little brother. And they're hooping. We know basketball's a
Yeah.
universal language. It don't matter where you from. You can hoop. You can hoop. It don't matter where you at. So that was like my upbringing.
Yeah.
So I won't really raise like other NBA players' kids. Like Like I didn't
Yeah.
go to private school. I
Okay.
went to public school my whole life. I got kicked out of private school the
Yeah.
year I was kicked out of private. I was always at public schools, and a lot of my public schools was very
Yeah.
diverse. So you got
Yeah.
to interact with all races and all whatever neighborhood, because a lot of kids were getting bussed in. Like, it was a great academic school, but it'd be like kids from Fifth Ward, Third Ward, Sunnyside, Cloverland. I'm just naming in Houston, like areas. They'll be at the school, so
Yeah.
we'll have GDs, we'll have BDs, we'll have Bloods, we'll have MS-13, and then all of a sudden you look up, you got the person, kids who started IBM and Enron. It was like a mixture of everything. So it was like you could chose this way, hang
Yeah.
with this crowd, or you can go this way, hang with this crowd, or you can just be who you want to be. So
Yeah.
it was wild, because now that I'm around and I have a daughter, you know what I'm saying? But when I see other NBA kids now, most of them go to private schools. Like, Sierra Canyon. I'm out here in LA,
Mhm.
so you got Sierra Canyon, you got Campbell Hall, and they all private. You know what I'm saying? And it's so different. You know what I'm saying? I pull up to go watch the game, and like Drake is right. It's like he pulling up his Maybachs, Lambo truck. I'm like, hey, what? Like, school, we had pop trunk, we had O's poking out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like that. It's the norm. But hey, I get it. It's the time. But like I tell my kids, like, I tell my kids that their dad's playing the league, because a lot of my colleagues bring their kids to me for training. It was like, you
Mhm.
live this your whole life. Like, what it's gonna take. You know what I'm saying? So can you instill that? Because most NBA kids ain't got to worry about not knowing if the light's gonna stay on, or not worry about if they're gonna have food on the table, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find edge. Like, what's your edge? Because
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
you need anything. But you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, I
For
just
sure.
try to instill how my pops put that dog in me to kind of
Mhm.
pass on to the next generation of hoopers. And I love the fact, like, Austin Rivers is in the league. You got who else? You got a whole bunch of players. Adrian Griffin's son is in the league. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole bunch of Jalen Brunson,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the league. You got a whole bunch of former NBA players, kids that's now in the same league. And Steph Curry and his brother. And I always hear people talk about, well, Austin
Yeah.
Rivers is only there because his pop signed him, or his pops put him on. Like, Austin Rivers went to Duke, All American. Like, he can play. Like, let's cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But so that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
biggest thing, and the knock you get when you are an NBA son. And you see it with Bronny. Like, Bronny can play. He's solid. Not his dad.
No, he go.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If you take away that last
Yeah.
name and you just look at him as a ball player, and you don't know who he is, he's going to be one of the top players on the court at the time. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. Hands down.
Yeah, I
Hands
was
down.
at that game.
So you went to that game? Or
It
no?
was, I mean, the production was
It was
crazy.
lit.
I mean, I just love ball. So
Yeah.
I want, it was a good game. Everything else that come with it
Yeah.
now is a little bit OD for me. But
Mhm.
other than that, it was a good game. I
Yeah.
thought it was solid, Mm-hmm.
For sure. Okay. So for you, OG, I know you was a hell of a tennis player. You know what I mean? How did you kind of juggle between playing tennis and hooping, as far as like what you wanted to do with your life? You know what I mean? Because your dad
Well,
playing ball, that don't mean you gonna play ball. You know what I mean? So what was your moment where you really was like, all right, I'm a hoop?
damn. That didn't come until I graduated high school, because technically I was about to turn pro out of high school in tennis. I wasn't going to go to college. But the tennis lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
and all that didn't fit me. Like I said, like, I grew up differently. So, like, all my homeboys was on all my friends,
Mm-hmm.
my best friends, they was from the other side of the track. They ain't trying about no tennis over there. You know what I'm saying? It's basketball,
Yeah.
football. But that tennis, my dad was a little bit upset when I didn't pursue tennis because of my height. He felt like it would be harder for me to achieve. Not saying he never told me like I couldn't.
Yeah.
He just knew it was gonna be twice as
Mm-hmm.
hard. But my dad always been on another wave. He was like, man, you could be like one of the first blacks, like Arthur Ashe, and to turn this where you can have other kids that's of our race try to go play tennis. And I, me being young, I was like,
Yeah.
right, I
Try to hear that.
like having a grill in my mouth. I like wearing the chains. You know what I'm saying? I like, I pull up to a tennis match.
Mm-hmm.
I actually feel like I, wear button up collars. That would be like I was
Yeah.
really playing tennis Jordans and retros. Like those was my tennis shoes.
So that was it for you. So was the like, so I feel like what I want to ask you is
Mm-hmm.
like, because you was good at both. You really could have went either way. But like, what was the ultimate choice for you? You know what I mean? Besides what your pop said and you maintaining the image, did you feel like, okay, I just know I'm gonna put in the work and I'm gonna get to the
I
I'm gonna
love the
make it.
game of
You know what I
basketball. I
mean?
still love tennis. Like me and my daughter play tennis every Tuesday, Thursday. I'm teaching her tennis now. You know? But
Mm-hmm.
basketball was me. Like it could never leave. Like as soon as I was playing, I was going straight to the basketball
Yeah.
court. So it was but tennis helped me with basketball with this part. So tennis,
Yeah.
because on the basketball court you got 4 other players. You having a bad game, you can rely on your teammates. In tennis, if you having a bad game, you got to like somehow will your way to figure out
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, how can I turn this around? So I brought that mentality
Yeah.
into basketball, and it taught me how to, angles
Yeah.
and how Kyrie uses the backboard. We've been knowing that because those top spin. That's angles, geometry. So I was in high school already.
Yeah.
Because my godfather was George Gervin. He the one who taught me how to actually finger roll. Like every day before the San Antonio Spurs used to play, I'll be out there at least 15, 20 minutes before the players would come on the court, and he'll put me through different drills of finger rolling. All right, this is, you got to let it flick at the end. Like, hold it and then flick it at the end so it go right over. And then he started teaching me about English. And so basically it's the spin. So opposite way Spanish, this way's English. So it was like I was learning at a young age from the person who created it. So that's the best part of my childhood, like just being around legends, like being in the same car with MJ, going to the barbershop on the south side of Chicago at Nero when MJ had the convertible Corvette with MJ 23 on the license plate. I'm sitting in my dad's lap. I'll never forget that. Going to the barbershop, just going to get haircuts. And somebody found out MJ was in there. We had to get police escorted. I was during the time my pops was playing for Milwaukee Bucks and the playoffs, and then they beat Jordan them that year to go, and they lost to Milwaukee. They lost to Boston in Eastern Conference Championship. But just being a part of that, like having like AI's my big brother, Bubba Chuck, come to my high school basketball games when they was coming to play Houston, and he giving me I'm wearing his shoes out there while I'm playing. Like having them type of relationships, I would, I'm forever blessed and grateful, and them passing the knowledge. And I had lunch with Damon Stoudemire yesterday when they played. That's my big brother. Like we working out in high school, he giving me all the little bitty guard stuff, like the hook, like teaching me. I was like a sponge, like you know what I'm saying, like because I want to be there. So I was like, just like I never like humble at the same time, and what got instilled in me at a young age was like, if you doing it, bring somebody on with you. So like my homeboys who ain't never had the opportunity to go to NBA, we like, oh, we out. Like, come on, we about to go show these old heads what we got. Like we in high school, this is what we gonna do. And it's like, I'll go pick them up and we all in the gym. We hooping with Steve Francis, AI, Katino Mobley, Stephon Marbury, because everybody used to come to Houston and hoop. Like how now everybody come to LA and hoop, but that was at that time. So we out there hooping.
Yeah. For you, what was your moment though when you was like, all right, I really feel like I made my mark with hooping. Like, what was your moment when it really clicked for you? Was it a game that you had? Was it a particular, event you went to or whatever? Like, what was that moment for you? You was like, all right,
It
I'm
had
with it.
to be
I'm
my
nice with it.
sophomore year, and it wasn't that I was nice with it. So I like people always
Mm-hmm.
hear about TJ Ford and Daniel, myself,
Mm-hmm.
Carlos, Mecca Okafor is my high school teammate. But the best player in Houston in our class in 2001 was Carlos Hurt. And my sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
we played his team in high school, right? And I was like, this is probably the first time I was ever nervous and scared at this. A lot of people don't know this, so I'm giving you the
Mm-hmm.
real. It was like I was nervous and
Oh
scared
yeah.
because all you heard was hurt, hurt, hurt. You know, he from A-Leaf, Southwest. So you know what I'm saying. So and he could play. He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry, like one dribble past half court, and he was left-handed. He used to be like he had this thing saying water every time, and it was like he was that
Mm-hmm.
dude. He ended up going to Louisville, but you know, ended up
Mm-hmm.
going the wrong way in a couple of things. He doing great now, teaching. Also a coach now. So,
Yeah.
but Hurt was that dude in class of '01 out of the state of Texas, best player, like hands down. So my sophomore year, we played him in the playoffs. I had I'm usually getting like 24, 25 points. This game, I don't know. I kind of like just was like, you all you hear is like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I wasn't me. And what clicked that year,
Yeah.
and my cousins, my best friends, two of my cousins, Joe P and Jay Jones was at the game. And I'll never forget this. My pops was at the game. I wasn't shooting. I wasn't being me. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
and game started, so we got beat. But if I would have played my way, we probably could have won. So we got beat. So I got home, drove home. And my dad had a heart to heart. He punched me in my chest. Like, boom. He's like, what the fuck you scared of? Like, just like that. He was like, what was that today? I was like, I never lied to my dad. I was like, I was nervous. I was scared. I wasn't just like that. He was like, you gonna play this game? He was, my dad curses a lot. So he was like, I don't want to do it all on
Yeah.
and that's the moment I clicked. That's the moment where I was like 5:30 in the morning going to the gym. Like, cause I felt like I got my pride and my swag taken away from me. So
Yeah.
that whole summer I just was committed to basketball and tennis. Basketball and tennis. That was the moment. That was the moment that turned me into the person I am today.
So
Oh,
all it take was that one embarrassment
yep.
you
So
had,
like
and that was it.
getting dunked on
Got
by
it.
Bron, that was nothing to me. Like getting crossed up or getting like nothing. Like it was nothing. Because my pops told me then, he was like, if you're gonna play this game, there's no versions in basketball. You're gonna get embarrassed, you're gonna get dunked on, you're gonna get crossed up, he was like, if none of that has happened to you, then you're not playing at a high level.
Mm.
And that's what clicked. So I wasn't scared of came down and crossed me up. I was like, oh shit, good move, or you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was like I was like, all right,
Mm.
but now you
Yeah.
gotta guard me on the other end. Like I'm get back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment. Like hands down. It
Yeah.
wasn't like me having a 60-point game in high school or averaging 30 in high school or 11 assists a game, leading the whole state in scoring. I still hold a record in the state of Texas for most points scored. It was none of that made me be like, this is what it was.
Mm.
That moment, my sophomore year, is what clicked.
For sure. Okay. So you play at is it Bel
Bella
Air?
High School. I was a
Bel
freshman.
Air High School? Bel Air. Okay. And you played there with, fellow NBA
Yup.
players like Mecca Okafor and Lawrence Roberts. How was your experience, through I know you said you just spoke on that. That was like
Mm-hmm.
your light bulb moment for you. But how else was your whole high school experience? You know what I mean? You really like, all right, I got embarrassed. I'm going hard with hooping. Now let me go on and, get these colleges on my phone. How was
Like a
that moment for you?
normal day. It was like me, I just put my head down and do the
Yeah.
work. Like, I really didn't care about college and school at the time. I didn't start caring about school until I met my wife. Like I was like, I'm cool making a C. I'm cool.
Mm.
Like as long as I get to play, I'm cool. Like you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really all I want to
Yeah.
do was hoop. I ain't know what level I was gonna hoop at. You know what I'm saying? I remember I got
Yeah.
a letter from Duke University my my sophomore year. It wasn't like it was like we're interested in you. That was like one of my first letters, you know what I'm saying? It was from Duke,
Yeah.
and my mom and dad is from North Carolina. Like my grandparents' house is like a block away from Duke. And you hear about Duke, so I was like, oh, and then like they was like asking for like my
Yeah.
transcripts and stuff. Like at the time I had like maybe a 2.2, got it. Right.
Oh, you ain't getting in
So
there.
it was more like, oh, you ain't got the grades. It was just like, so then that clicked with me with school and also meeting my wife. That clicked with me too, because I was like, oh, no, I'm cool. I got a C. I'm cool. I got a D. She was like, oh, so you just want to be known as like a dumb athlete, huh? Like, ain't nobody ever talked to me like that. Like, nobody never talked to me like that. So it was humbling. And then from there, I just became a straight A student. And then I ended up graduating like 3.5 GPA, stuff like that. So it was more of that changed me, and then also that letter from Duke changed when they was like, oh, he ain't gonna be able to get in anyway.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? What happened? Oh, what happened? Let me get him back. Let me get him back. I think his phone might have died. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, I think I got him back. Hold on. Why it ain't letting me
Oh,
There
I
we
don't know
go.
what happened. We
Okay.
just got disconnected. so
Oh no, I don't know what
so
we
yeah,
good though. We good.
my wife is the one that actually. Hold on, hey baby girl, I'm on the phone. Um, uh, so
Shout out
yeah,
ISO
that's my
Joe.
dog.
ISO Joe
That's
just
my
tapped
dog
in.
right there. So so that's what changed me. So then I got my act together academically, and then I've always was a high test taker anyway without studying. I don't know why. I just like would listen. So my SAT scores was like 1180. So I was good on the SAT, but my GPA didn't meet that. So I had to get that up. So
He
my
didn't
junior
match
and
it.
senior year,
Yeah.
I really changed the academic. And then in the state of Texas, you can actually go back and retake a class that you got a D
Mm.
in to make it C. So the class got a
Mm.
D in my
Oh,
freshman year in high school. I retook my senior year so I could make that D turn into a C. You only can jump up one grade. Yeah.
one grade letter.
So then I
Okay.
basically my
Okay.
senior year I was also taking
Um.
two courses that I messed up with my freshman year. Other than that, it was cool.
Okay. Got you.
Mm.
Hey, look. Thank God
If
for
not,
that. You need that
I've been at the
for
JUCO.
real. Yeah. Yeah. But that's my next one for you, OG. Like, if you didn't go to like, why Baylor though? Like, how did Baylor one of the ones with you? You know what I mean? You in Texas still, but like, what were some of the schools that you were
I
talking
was
to or
originally
looking
gonna go
at
to Texas
potentially going
A&M.
to?
Um,
Mm.
but like Baylor, Texas A&M, I had Rice, I had Rutgers, I had Georgia, I had UCLA. I had the schools. I like know,
Mm-hmm.
Coach Watkins was the coach at A&M, and he wanted me to sign early. Hold on right quick. Hey, babe, can you close the door, please? Can you close that door? Thank you. So, um, and I said he wanted me to commit early, but me being my father's son and him instilling in me, you bring somebody else on, each one teach type of thing. And I talked to Coach Hewitt the other day. He's the G League for the Clippers, and he was the head coach at
Okay.
Georgia Tech. And Emeka Okafor was going there, like it was done. So one day, my dad sat me and Emeka down. We just got done working out. He was like talking to us about school, and he was like, "Well, how about y'all wait off? Don't sign early." And we was all like, "Why? Like what?" He was like, "Well, if y'all sign early, ain't no other schools gonna come to y'all basketball games. What about Jared Williams? What about Jared Short? And what about Brandon Lepo?" He started naming our teammates. He was like, the job ain't done. We gotta get them scholarships too. Lux. I'm on the phone. Okay, that's okay, baby. And so we decided not to sign early. But I gave my word to A&M. I was like, yo, I want to come there, but I'm just not going to sign early. You got my word. I'm a man of my word. A week later, they ended up going to sign another point guard. So I was like, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so every time we played A&M, I took it out on that point guard and made sure the coach knew, like, y'all chose him. Like, so that's what Baylor. That is the reason, because I gave you my word and was, mutual. I just said, look, I'm committed to y'all. I'm just not gonna sign right now because I explained. So I ended up taking a visit to Florida A&M. I wasn't going to Florida A&M, but one of my teammates had a couple of looks, but they said if I would have came on a visit, they'll give them a free ride. So I used one of my visits to go to A&M. It was one of the dopest visits ever been on. Florida State's right there, Florida A&M. Yeah. So I took a visit to Florida A&M, and my man, one of my teammates went a full ride to Florida A&M. So then Baylor came
looking out
after that, and I wish I would have never gone there, but you learn, and living you learn.
You live and you learn.
Yep.
OG, my guy Jermaine said you had his son on the court passing to the players when he was with the T-Wolves.
Yeah, I always do that.
Jermaine Brown, so
I always do it. If I got a chance to, especially a kid, I'm always gonna bring him on the court. Like,
for sure. That's love. You changing their life. That little moment.
It's just like
life. You know what I mean?
They look up to these guys, and a lot of people can't. Tickets are so expensive to come to games. You can't bring your whole family. You can't do this. So if my wife and daughter don't come, sometimes I used to put my tickets and be like, hey, if somebody answer this trivia question, it's gonna be 3 tickets. First person answer is gonna be 3 tickets that will call under your name. Like, just do stuff like you just want to kind of like just pay it forward, like bless others. The move. Yeah. So if I see a kid out there just like, I'm like, come rebound for D Rose, pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's just you don't never know what that could change. He might be the next player on the NBA court, like Sky Clark. So Sky Clark, I played for the Pistons. So I had Sky Clark pass me the ball when he was a little kid. I didn't even know who Sky Clark was. And when I first started training him, his dad was like, man, you probably ain't gonna remember this, but we was at the Lakers game. You was playing for the Pistons, and we was right there. You told Sky pass the ball while you was shooting. He was like, man, that was crazy. Now I'm looking at Sky Clark. He playing at University of Illinois. Right.
Crazy how life works, man. So I said you played at Baylor for 2 years. You was a Big 12 all freshman team. Did your high school teammate end up going to Baylor with you?
He only played 1 year with us. And he left and went to our rival school, which is Lamar High School, because him and played the same kind of position, and how. But if we all would have stayed together, we probably would have won state.
Ooh, okay. So you did 2 years at Baylor, then the whole happened, and then you go to Oklahoma State. You playing with Tony Allen, you playing with Joey Graham. why Oklahoma State? Like, how did they reel you in? Like, all right, come here, you'll fit
Man,
perfectly.
I was actually headed to Memphis with Coach
Ooh.
Cal. Um, and O State wasn't even on my radar. Um, O State came in my
That's tough.
radar. Well, Mo Baker and Victor Williams, who I played against while I was at Baylor, they were seniors my sophomore year. So they was in Houston training
Mhm.
with my dad, getting ready for the draft. And we was going through the situation at Baylor. I revisited Georgia, Rutgers, Memphis. Can't even think of the other school. There was another school in there, and Victor was like, "Man, you should go to Oklahoma State." I said, "Man, I ain't about to go no country something like that, man. I just got out, trying to go back to another Waco 2.0. I'm a city boy, like you know what I'm saying. So I was trying to get to a city." And he was like, "No, for real, like Coach Sutton and da-da-da." He started going on and on, and all of a sudden I started getting phone calls from James Dickey and Coach Sutton and Cal Keller and Sean Sutton. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, "Oh, Victor says good things about you, this and that." Woo. And so they was like, "You want to come on a visit?" And I already knew like a couple of guys from playing against him. Then one of my really good friends from Houston was already there, named Ivan McFarland. He was also there.
Mm.
He played in the league for a little bit. And, once I got there, I had my braids to the middle of my back. So I had a grill, bottom hat. I'm straight Houston. What can I say? I'm just straight Texas. So I went on a visit and I was like, okay, yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Man, won't you? We loved your game. We always have." He was like, "But if you come here, you're going to have to cut your hair." I was like, "What?" Hey, I was like, "Man." I was just like, I don't know about this. Like, so I went back home. I prayed on it, talked to my parents. My dad been wanting me to cut my hair because he was all about image. And at the time, the NBA was like trying to change the image of like the tattoos and stuff. So he always
Yeah.
been business minded because he's been a president. He's been a vice president, a general manager, and head coach. Still coaching. So his
Yeah.
whole thing was like, right, like if
Appearance for sure.
I couldn't wear a headband when I played because he'd be like, "That's not you. Take that out." Or if all my teammates had socks on, he always like, "We don't wear high socks." He was like, "That's not the socks you wore last game. Go put the socks on you last game." Like he was very like very, very detailed.
Very
So
detailed.
he been wanting me to cut my hair, but because
Mm.
I was in college already, I was older. He was giving me some kind of like independence. I won't get in no trouble. I never, didn't get in trouble or anything like that. But he always wanted me to cut my hair because he was trying to make Darius Miles and Ricky Davis cut their hair when they played for Cleveland, and their rebuttal would be like, "But your son got braids." so
Oh,
so
yeah,
it
yeah,
would
yeah,
it would be like that. So I ended up coming home, and I told my mom, I was like, "Man, I like it. I think it would be a good fit." I said, "Only thing that's throwing me off is he's telling me I got to cut my hair." My mom is like, "Nah,
yeah. Mm.
you don't got to cut your hair. That's another man trying to control you." Like, just, and so one day I just woke up. I was like, "I think I'm gonna go to Old State," and I called and committed. And then like all the players like, "Man, I wonder if he gonna come." And so I just went to my barber, Marquette. I was like, "Yo, chop me up. Give me a low Caesar." Like real, and you have braids for so long, you
Mm.
still got the lines in your head for at least 2 to 3 weeks. I had the
Yeah.
line still in my head while I was training, but it threw everybody off because I started school 3 months late because of the whole NCAA investigation and stuff. So I showed up on campus. I had like
Yeah.
a taper fade, a low Caesar, and everybody was like going crazy.
So,
Well,
so that's the
and
reason you cut your hair.
he promised me.
Wow.
He said, "Bro,"
Wow.
he said, "If you do this, you're gonna be the face of our team." Not saying I'm giving it to you, but with everything that you got going on and who you are as a player and your charisma and all that, he was like, if it's a Sports Illustrated, you on there. If it's ESPN, I'll have you on here. He was just like, it's almost like he was saying the same thing as my pops. Like they want clean cut, and like my best friend TJ Ford
Yeah.
told me the same thing because he cut his hair his sophomore year when he went to the Final Four. You remember they lost to Melo and them. He had braids too, and he cut Yeah, he ended up going 10th in the draft.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was like, "Hey, cut you in, they ain't playing around." Like, I was like, man, I'm off that. But it was like everything was
yeah,
real. So yeah.
yeah. So talk to me about the tournament, OG. You get there, y'all had a crazy year. You know what I mean? Y'all go to the tournament and you hit the shot of shots, man. What was that feeling like for you? And just take me through that play of how
Man,
everything worked out.
you know, you prepare for them type moments. You know, it's a
Yeah,
shot I done taken over a million times in the gym by myself. So it was just me another one. And it was like I told you that moment my sophomore year in high school I won't skip. I ain't have
yeah,
no more fear. I was willing to take the
hmm
good and the bad. I missed the shot, all right, let's go. I made the shot, all right, let's go. So to me, when it hit my hand and I let it go, I was just ready for whatever the outcome was going to be, honestly.
yeah. It was just
It
muscle
was more,
memory for you. You know what I mean? All the
yeah,
reps you put in, it's
no
just like in the
hesitation, no
gym.
none. It's like I caught it,
Yeah,
I knew what to do. It was like my body just automatically did it. So, but like I said, I was ready for
yeah,
it. Excuse me, but all the emotions when I hit it came out because that year I was Big 12 Player of the Year, first team All American, John Naismith, John Wooden Award nominees, stuff, and I had the same numbers I had at Baylor that I had at Old State my junior year.
hmm
Better team, and
You
we
just
was
was a
winning.
better team.
And now everybody was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, you know," like, and I was like, "I've been doing
yeah,
this. Y'all just ain't wake up and see."
yeah.
No,
Now,
I was with
was
Joey.
that play drawn for you, or was it just like, oh, okay, okay, so it just how it worked
No,
out?
he
You was like, man,
slipped,
look, I'm gonna
reached
shoot it.
the ball, and kicked it out. My man helped
Hmm.
because he thought he could steal the ball, get the ball, and Joey picked it up and kicked it out. I just shot it. But Joey Graham
Yeah.
to get downhill and hopefully go for a layup or get fouled.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So then y'all end up losing to Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? Sadly, you could have went to the championship. And then the next year y'all had another good year. You know what I mean? Y'all went to the tournament,
In
but then y'all lost to
Chicago,
Arizona, right? In the
we
Sweet
lost to
16.
Chicago.
Oh,
No,
where y'all played at? UC?
what was it Rose something right there by the casino, Rosemont. Yeah, yeah,
Rosemont?
yeah. I think they might have
Allstate
changed the
Arena?
name of it now, but yeah, Allstate. Yep.
Okay, okay. So after that, you know what I mean? Y'all lose to Arizona. What was your mindset after y'all lost? But it's just like, all
I
right, now
didn't
it's
have
time
a.
to get ready for the
I lost my
NBA.
grandma that same
What
night.
you thinking?
She saw me play my last college basketball game and then fell asleep that night and passed away. I
Wow.
yeah,
After the
because
Arizona
we was
game.
gonna play Illinois, which I wanted
Wow.
to play when they had D Brown, D Will, Luther Head, and they had the same record
Luther
like
Head.
St. Joseph got. So I was like, okay, this like deja vu. We're gonna knock them off too. But Salim Stoudemire hit the game winner
Yeah.
against us, and then they end up losing. They end up losing to Illinois that year. But like after the game, I wasn't upset. I was mad because college is over. You know. So my mom kept calling me. I thought she was
Yeah.
calling me to check on me about the game. So I just was like, I don't feel like talking. But then it started like keep going and keep going. So I was like, man, something going on. Let me just pick it up. And that's when she told me. So I ain't really think about the game or anything after that. It was just more about my grandma.
Yeah. Now, when you had your time, you know what I mean, to really grieve and to process all that, you know what I mean, what was your process of getting ready for the draft? You know what I mean? Did you just like, all right, I'm just gonna go and put my name in,
Man, your name
see what happens,
automatically
or was
goes
it
in
just
your
like,
senior year. Yeah.
okay,
Now,
okay,
so
you ain't gotta
I was
like
thinking about
put
putting
your
my
name in.
name in my
Okay,
junior
got
year
you.
because of the year I had. So, I got a father that's
Yeah,
in the league, so he's like getting feedback. They was like, yeah,
yeah,
he'll get drafted, but it probably late second round, or if I, he might want to stay in school, like So we, everybody thought I was leaving, but we was like, all right, we can just stay in school. So the senior year,
yeah,
so senior year, I thought I was gonna get drafted, but my dad So my mom wanted everybody to be at the house, watch the draft, stuff like that. I had great workouts, and I was trying to schedule my workouts against like Raymond Felton, CP, whoever they had ahead of me. I was like, but nobody would let me go to that workout. Like the team, like the agent, like the then agents could pick who was in the workout, who couldn't be in the workout, like stuff like. So one workout I had that was a fire workout. It was like me, Nate Robinson, Daniel Ewan, and dang, it was for the Rockets too. I can't even think of Aaron Miles. Yeah, Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I think
So how many workouts did you
I had
have
like
total?
7 or 8.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, was they giving you feedback like, all right, we might grab you? You know how they do it. We might take you if you're available. What was they
they say
telling you?
that
Was it
to
just like, oh, okay,
everything. Like
thank you.
some
You know what I
teams
mean?
make you take a test, and the test be the same questions but answering same but worded differently. See how you
Worded
answer it. It's
differently.
like an IQ test. I know I did that test in Denver, and I did it somewhere else. And I'm like, it's like almost 100-question test. I was like, man, what this guy doing? You know what I'm saying? So, but it was so a lot of people don't know that the test is like it'll be the same question, then it ask you, and you might answer it differently you did the first one. So then they're like, oh, wait, now they like the IQ
Yeah.
stuff, but like. Every
Yeah.
shooting test we had, I killed. Every like thing we had, my whole thing was like, I think it was my size. Like if I was to play in today's game, I'm top 15 if I'm coming out of college. Like me and Will Bynum talked about this the other day. We just came up in the wrong era. If we just came up this era,
Yeah. Well, you ain't got no,
300,
but yeah, it's
30,
positionless
300
basketball.
million in. Like what Trey and them was doing, that's what I was doing then. you know.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a
No,
big
like
man game. They weren't even trying to hear
it
that.
was a big man and a 3. The point guard was like a traditional point guard. It won't an AI kind of like a special human being. You know what I'm saying with the 2, but like it was either the 3 man was the best one and the big man was the best one. Kobe, Macchial. Like you can go down the list. So like the game is evolved. Like now, I love the fact that the little guards are getting off. Steph, Trey, Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas, Ja Morant, Trey Jones, all of the small guard getting busy.
Yeah.
Colin Sexton, guard, like yeah, they get
Brunson.
busy.
You know what I
And
mean? It's
it's
a
getting to the
bunch.
bag.
Yeah.
I love it. So it's like hard feelings of
Yeah.
me. We was before our time. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so you go undrafted in the draft, you know what I mean, but you still had a crazy, you know what I mean, unbelievable career, playing in the D League, overseas, playing the NBA for a while. What was kind of like some of your high and low moments through your whole career? You know what I mean? I know it. Everybody got feelings when you get traded or you get
I'm
cut or
cut for the
the
first
team
time.
don't work out.
I
You
ain't
know what I
never
mean? For
been
you.
cut. I always been a man on every team I played on. And for somebody to be like, we're gonna let you go. You be like, what? Like I just had 18 in this preseason game. That don't mean nothing. Like, well, and then you start about the business of the game, the numbers, the exit. You start learning about all. Like back in the day when I was coming up, it'd be like whoever was the man on the team and whoever that agent was. Like, for example, like I'm just using it as an example. Just so my first year I played for Minnesota Timberwolves. KG was the man, and his agent might have had a guy that he had. They'd be like, okay, we're gonna get him partial because we won't ticket. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna pay ticket, but so it was like a lot of like whoever your agent was and whoever he had, it was a lot of leverage. So it was like we know you better than him, but he the ticket. So we gotta make sure he happy. So his agent can be. So we gonna go ahead and take this dude. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was. That's how it was back in the day. I don't know if it's still like that now. I don't think so, but that's how it was when I was coming back. You'd be dogging him all camp, and then all of a sudden, how the hell he on the team?
Yeah.
I used to dog walk him,
He
and
knows
then
somebody.
and then my pops explained the game to me and stuff. So he was like, "What you gonna do?" I said, "Let's go get it out the mud." And so that's when I went to the G League.
Yeah.
I ain't never doubt myself like I
Yeah.
ever wasn't going to play in the NBA. I knew I was an NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a different journey than everybody else. Right.
Yours was just the longer route.
Marathon.
For sure, for sure. But you still had a good career. Like I said, you played in the
Mhm.
D League. You got a D League championship, right? You know what I mean? Like I said, you played in the league. You had a crazy time with the Bulls. You know, we loved you when you played with the Bulls when D Rose was out. Because I ain't gonna lie, when D Rose got hurt, the whole city felt that one. You know what I mean? It was like, damn, that was our only hope. You know what I mean? So what was like a high moment for you in your career when you was like, all right, I feel good. I'm cruising right now.
Played for the Bulls. It was just that team. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah. Oh,
it was just that team. And Rose was my man. You know, him and
Yeah.
my little brother graduated together. They played McDonald's All-American together. They was at the game together. Like, my first person ever tell me about D Rose
Yeah.
and Eric Gordon. Because I was in college. I was hooping overseas and stuff. He was like, best players in my class.
Yeah.
You know, he was one of the top dogs in his class, too. He played in McDonald's All-American game. So he told me, it's this kid out of Chicago named D Rose. They call him Houdini. I was like, okay. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
other players,
I
Eric
don't
Gordon,
care. Yeah.
because they played on the same AAU team, Mean Streets, with Reggie brothers. And so I ended up coming, and OJ Mayo was another name he brought up. So I ended up that summer when I was home, I ended up traveling with my little brother to his AAU tournament, and man, they ended up playing Mean Streets. I was like, man, there's no way these kids that age. I was like, man, like D Rose come through the middle of the paint, windmilling. I'm like, man, what in the world? Like, man, what is going on, man? No way these kids is this age. My little brother, and he like, you know, he's like 5'10", scrawny. You got D Rose like this, Eric Gordon all yoked up, and they out there just jumping. Man, I was like, and that's when I started noticing, you know, D Rose, and then we always had ties because, you know, one of my best friends is Will Bynum, so I was always in Chicago, and what's his other name, Jason McCree. I don't know if you know who that is from Chicago, Wyoming. He was one of another big time point guard. I want to say he went to Marshall before D.
Okay.
Jason Straight.
Well, you know, Chicago
Jason
known
Straight.
for guards, though.
I got his name. Yeah, Jason McCree. He from another Jay Straight. Jay Straight is yeah. So we all used to work out in the summertime when I used to come back with my pops when he'd go to Chicago Combine to get ready for the draft. I used to always go work out. Will would come, you know, we'd go to Crane High School or go wherever the ball was, you know, I had to be where the basketball was bounced, so we just get that bump in, get that work in. And so they was telling me about him.
Y'all was at Hope Academy, right?
No, it was so long ago. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That's where Grover and them be at Hope Academy. Yeah. Okay. What was I gonna say? Let me see what else I got. So now, you know what I mean? After you had your career, you know, you kind of moved into coaching, being an assistant coach, player development. You know, now you got your own AAU team. What has been the transition for you, you know what I mean, knowing that the ball has stopped for you, but you know what I mean, helping these young kids with what they like as far as
passes, you know what I'm saying? I'll be a selfish person if I just kept all this knowledge and then pass it on to the next generation of hoopers. Absolutely.
Did you always think you would want to be a coach at one point?
My goal is to be a head coach, but that's not my end goal.
Gotcha. Okay. Would you be an NBA coach? Would you be an HBCU, NCAA, high school? It don't matter.
I'll be a high school or in college. It don't matter. But my goal, NBA, and then but my end goal is to be a president or a general manager of a team. That's my end goal.
So
my end goal is to be a president
OG, for sure.
of a team, because I feel like seeing what James Johnson is doing in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what Elton Brand done in Philly. You know, those are former players. Former Landry Fields in Atlanta.
Landry Fields.
Former players know the pieces you need to the puzzle. But I'm not throwing no knock or no shade on nobody like who didn't not play, who's in that position, that field. It just I know. Like when I be looking at the draft now, and I'm like, huh? That makes no sense. Like that kid way better. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But you never, you know what I'm saying? Like just even coaching, like first year coaching, I was like looking at when I first took coaching, I'm like, man, he don't fit. Like I don't even know how we draft him. He don't even fit what I guess we're trying to create. And it's always like what was the thought process behind that? Like if I'm seeing it, I know everybody else got to see it too. Like it don't fit, don't work.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? You played the game for so long, OG. You
Just
see the game from a different view
last
we
year.
don't see it. You know what I mean?
That team we had last year, I'm like, this don't fit.
Yeah. They just went
I'm
off.
just saying,
They
it
went
don't
off
fit.
names, if we being honest
Like
with you.
everybody know you need shooting around LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The year they won in the championship, it was shooters around him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I was like, I knew for the first 2 weeks we weren't gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't fit. You know, so it was like watching it and you trying to.
Yeah.
But that again, it also is like you see it, but do everybody else see it? You know what I'm saying? Like paper, we was great, but we just didn't have right and the right pieces to the puzzle. That's what I would say. And I think the same thing is happening this year with a lot of teams. Not just with them, but a lot of teams is like you're going out getting these names and you're going out doing this, but does it fit with your core?
Yep. And you can't just throw anybody with anybody.
Correct.
And they're gonna make it happen. You know what I mean? Like you can't be like, all right, we're gonna go get 5 post office people and we're gonna put them on a team with LeBron. And then niggas gonna
I mean, you also got
man,
like,
it don't work like that.
but then again, you got like collecting bargain agreements. Some players ain't gonna take this to come here, so it's a lot to go in it. That's what I'm saying. I don't knock anybody that's sitting in. That's a tough chair to sit in. But it was like it also got to be like, that don't fit. Like that's not a good fit for our team. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? So it just didn't. When I see some teams that are put together, I'm like, that's not gonna work. I can tell you like off top, like I've been on so many teams and played for so many different organizations, and you've been around the game. You can see stuff that a lot of people can't see, and like it's 1,000 games, and they always say it's 1,000 games inside of the game. It matter which game you're gonna play.
Break that down, OG. What that really means?
So you can look at it two ways. So I'm gonna look at it as a player, right? So, and I kind of picked up on it my last 3 years. So I was like, okay, how can I buy myself 2 more years in this league? I know I'm getting older, the league getting younger, and now they bringing in analytics to the game. Okay, cool. I'm gonna use that to my advantage. I know I shoot 45% from this corner 3, but I only shoot 30-some% from this corner 3. So this corner 3 and make a play for somebody else, even though I might have a better shot. But if I miss it, it brings my percentage down, right? So now I'll be okay. I'm gonna go make sure wherever shots I'm gonna know where my hot spots are at on the court, and that's where I'm gonna shoot. All right, I'm gonna let it go because obviously my numbers just tell me that. So now my last 3 years, I shot over 40-some% from the field. Like one point, I had the highest shooting percentage from the 3 when I was in Toronto. So now when GMs and stuff get the paperwork, they don't really look at, I scored 30, I scored 25. They look at your plus and minus, how efficient you are, and your percentage. And that's when they brought the baseball effect into the game of basketball. It's the numbers game. Because everything got numbers.
Yeah. So now they know when they game planning for you, don't let JL3 shoot that corner 3. He's 45% right there. You're going to run him off the 3-point line. You're going to make him take a pull-up mid-range. You know what I mean? Okay.
So you just so that's one game you can play. And now as a coach, you
Yeah.
got another game you can play, right? But as a coach, you can come in the game like, okay, how do I want to attack? Do I want to go inside out or outside in?
Mm-hmm. But I feel like you got the knowledge for that. Like, I don't like bringing people names in like that, but I just feel like with the whole Brooklyn situation, I just felt like they just brought
Well,
in somebody that they feel like they got the name, they got the resume, but it's different when you
right.
actually
So the
being a
thing,
coach. You know what I mean? Especially with that
right.
type of power you
So
have over there.
really, the coach should have been Jacques Vaughn for what he did after they fired
Mm-hmm.
Jay Kidd, and then they end up making the playoffs. But the NBA is about names and stuff like that. So they end up putting somebody who's never been a coach, hell of a player, Hall of Famer, but never called a timeout,
Hell of a
never
player.
did X's and O's, never even two games. Like if you watch the game, he never made any adjustments in the game. Go back and watch any of the games.
Mm-hmm.
No adjustments. Right. So you got
You got about
T.
it
Lue, who's a
quick.
hell of a coach, championship coach. But T. Lue was an assistant coach for at least 8 to 9 years before he even got the opportunity to be a head coach. Same thing with Ime. Yeah.
He was on the
And
Pops, right?
Doc. And then got the head. And he was in Brooklyn for a little bit. Like, he was assistant coach for years. Ime and I played against each other in the G League and in the NBA, right? Got him, right?
Mm.
We can go down Willie Green, hell of a coach. But they make us go through. When I say us, I'm talking about us. Make us go
Yeah,
through
I know what you mean. Yeah.
every
Okay.
single step.
Yeah.
So
You can facts on that one, OG.
with that being said, it wasn't right. Like now, you know what I'm saying? You can see it. It's like, come on, serious. Like, especially who really want to
Yeah.
coach, who is
Oh.
like has been hit on all different levels of like, you got to start at player development. You got to start here. You got to start there. You got to
Mm-hmm.
like what's now going on is they'll make former players start in the video room, cutting film. Like
That happened to Eric Spoelstra,
what
right?
I'm
But he was
saying,
like a
Eric
video
Spoelstra is
person,
a
right?
hell of a coach, but he started in the video room, so he was learning. I'm saying former
Yeah.
players.
Okay.
I'm saying players that actually
Okay.
play.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
Like they always be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well you got to start here,
Yeah.
and then you got to work your way all the way instead of like going there. So it's just like
Okay.
they'll
Yeah, I
put
know what you mean.
Nash there before, where he ain't got to go through all the like, oh, the new but it, it is what it is. I mean, that's the game. But this is, what you signed up for. Where it go. But it's also a learning process. But it makes you even more hungrier, and it makes you, at least for me, it makes me like, okay, I gotta over prepare myself so when that opportunity comes, it ain't nothing I'm not prepared and ready for.
You're not over. You're not
Exactly.
under or
So like
overqualified.
a lot of times when I do go for
Okay.
interviews, and sometimes I don't know what the position is. Like, we're gonna bring you in an interview, and then they ask you, "What have you done?" And once I start naming everything I've done, it was like, "Oh, you overqualified for the position that we got going on." And in my mind, I'm like, how can you be overqualified? Isn't it to put the best staff together to hope that your team that you can provide, doesn't matter what the position is, if you got all this knowledge from not just me, from other coaches that's been in the league for years, and this, you would want like as much knowledge. This is just me talking. As much knowledge on your bench as
Yeah.
possible. It don't even matter what position it is, right? Because
For sure.
that's
Hands down.
making your staff
Hands down.
stronger, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
it's just like now you got to navigate your way through that.
Okay. For you, OG, I gotta ask you about that video you posted. You know what I mean? That went viral when you were saying, kids that drilled out, they need to go out to the park more. Do you feel like social media kind of
Social
played
media
a
is the
part
worst thing
in
that
that?
ever happened
You
to
know what I mean?
basketball. To really all sports.
Because now you ain't ain't even trying to get better. You just trying to be on Ball is Life.
Everything's
You
for the
trying to
good.
be on ESPN.
Everything. Everything. Like even boxing. We can name like boxers. We can name everything. Like they're considering Jake Paul a professional boxer. Like, what are we talking
Just because my man
about?
went on a few fights, got a, you know what I mean? But that's what
Yeah,
you
but
want to do all
he
along,
fought my
though.
dog Nate Robinson. He's not a fighter. He's not a boxer. He's a basketball player. He fought somebody
Yeah.
else. Like I got mad at Swaggy P for fighting. I was like, why would you do that? No, I'm being serious. Like, like this, like this, like what are we doing? Like that's I get it. I mean, everything you do, everything you do is everything you do for a bag. I guess I don't know. Like I never do it. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
Now, I like the whole. I love the Ballers Life stuff. I love what they're doing. Um, you know, but to me, they're just reinventing and one mixtape. Like in my mind, that's and one mixtape. like, like,
Yeah.
Sick with it
Yeah.
and
Yeah. No,
great and
for
all
real.
them was traveling from city to city playing. It's just now. It wasn't no social media then. Like you had to wait for the tape, but now you can literally
Yeah. Yeah.
Ballers like how like my dog Frank Nitty and all them going to play East Coast this and that's and one mixed like and one was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Everything
Now all you got to do
like
is just take
everything's a
this out right
circle.
here.
It's just like the best movie ever. I mean the
Mm-hmm.
best with a lot of learning movies, but Lion King, Circle of Life, everything just invented itself. Just like now, back in the day, everybody was wearing big
Yeah.
clothes like long tees, double XL tees. Then everybody started wearing tight stuff. Right now, everybody's wearing big clothes again. Everything recycled. Like the
Yeah.
Prada, the Bolden shoes was out when I was in high college, and now they re-dropped the same shoes, and everybody wearing them. It's like it's no new stuff, and it's the same with the
Yeah.
reason why I said like social media has messed up the game is because don't nobody really watch the games no more. Like my kids,
Mm.
I had to talk to my kids, and I said, would y'all rather go to an NBA game or a YouTube game? You know how the YouTubers be putting their games together at the park. And like a couple of them was like, I want to go to the NBA game, like maybe 2 or 3. Like at least 10 of them was like, I'm going to YouTube the game. They lit, coach. They lit. They lit. So in my mind, I've already like, oh, y'all ain't serious. Like he's over here. Not saying that
Yeah.
they're gonna go to
Yeah.
the NBA, but their thought process of like, what's gonna get me to that next level, right? So to me, it's like entertainment,
Okay.
like WWE, entertainment. Like it ain't real wrestling like it was like at Oklahoma State where you got the hit. Like that's real wrestling to me with the cauliflower in the ears and UFC real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
WWF is like entertainment to me. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I'm
Got you.
entertained when I
Okay.
watch. And some of them guys like Frank Nitty can hoop. He hoop with they can hoop. Like, I'm not hoop. They can hoop.
Yeah. Oh.
But it's
Yeah.
to me, my mindset is like I'm trying to get each one of my kids that work with me, that train with me, that play on my AAU program or whatever. I'm trying to get them D1 scholarships. I'm trying to have their schools paid for. That's my mission. I can't tell you going to be an NBA player. I'm not even going to sell you that dream because it's so hard. That's on you. About the sacrifice and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to want to do to get there, right? I always have issues with
Yeah.
my kids' parents and stuff because, you know, they think, oh, well, my son's this and that. No, he's not. He's not this and that.
The harsh
Like, he's
reality.
working. If you ain't in the gym at least
Mm-hmm.
5 to 6 to 7 hours a day, you ain't working. You think you going to the gym for an hour? That's not work.
Mm.
That's not work.
So is that your like is your main goal for them for like when you have your travel team? Is your main goal really to I'm gonna give you the tools you need, but it's up to you you know what I mean, to how you use it, or is it to really? I know you said you want to make them like Division I players or whatever. Like, what is really your mindset when you train these dudes? Like, all right, I can tell your mind ain't right, but I'm gonna give you the tools to help you. But you got to learn on your own that your mind
Right.
not right to get
So
to that level.
I look at the decisions they make. I told you it's 1,000 games inside of the game. The decisions they make. Would you rather go to your high school football game instead of going to workout, or go to workout first and then go to your high school football game at halftime? And so when they make those decisions, it let me know where they at. Like, you can't do everything.
Something
Some
got to
got to
give.
give. So my thing was like, so I got one kid. He hungry. He he with it. He ain't with like going to the dances or going on the school field trip, stuff like that. Like, I ain't gonna go on a field trip, so I'm gonna go to the gym and then I do community service to make up. Some schools be like, oh, if you don't go here, you gotta do community service. He like, I bet, but I'm in the gym. He locked in. And then you got some
He
kids,
locked in.
yes, baby.
Yeah.
After I get done, okay. And then you got some kids who will go and the parents be like, oh, I still want him to be a kid. I want him to do the school activity. All right, well, when he don't get those offers that you think he should be getting, just remember this conversation we had.
You got to be working. You supposed to have been working on for the future. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like, so he's like, the kid I'm talking about, he got Stanford, Purdue, San Diego State, boom, and all the other kids that was in the gym with him, they ain't got them offers. They like, well, where's mine? Y'all ain't locked in. You ain't in the gym. You got to put the work in. None of this stuff is given to you. That's what people don't realize. It's not given to you. You got to go get it. You got to go take it, really. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice? Yeah. I sacrificed a lot. I didn't go to my prom. I had a game. Like, I ain't go to the movies when everybody went to the movies. I might come in the middle of the movie, but I had to go put my work in first. Yeah, and like, if I want to have a prom now, I can pay for a prom myself. I can recreate my prom.
Yeah.
But that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that won't my highlight. Me going to the prom, taking pictures. That's not my highlight. I want to get to the gym. I want to be an NBA player. I don't want to be the king of my high school when you walk across football field like, hey, no, I don't care about none of that. My thing was, I'm gonna get to this league and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there. If I gotta shoot 20,000 shots, I'm gonna shoot 20,000. Like, even when I was in the league and everybody go to the club, I always shot at a certain time every night. Every night.
But was it after the game or was it during off season?
So everybody be like, oh man, we gonna go to the club we used to go to, Chicago, Paris Club. So we're gonna go to Paris Club. Used to call Paris Club, it was called Underground. No, Sound Bar. Yeah, Sound Bar.
Okay.
So
I heard that
we're
before.
gonna go to Sound Bar. Boom, boom. I was like, bet. All right, cool. But I was at the Berto making my 1,500 shots. Take a shower at Berto. I had my clothes already. Boom, boom, boom. After I got done, me and my homies or somebody, I go by myself. Then I go to Sound Bar. I'm not missing anything.
Yeah.
That's what people. I'm not missing nothing. Like, not at all. If the club gets out at 2, I don't care if I pull up at 12:45, 1. I already done my work.
I think a lot of kids struggle with trying to give up.
That's what I married my high school sweetheart.
You know what I mean?
She knew.
She knew. Okay, so she knew.
I'd be like, oh, I can't come at this time, but I'm gonna be there. I just ain't gonna be there when y'all get there, but I'm coming. But I work in, and it was no issue.
Yeah,
there was no issue. She, my mom said, and if you can't deal with that, then you ain't the one. You ain't the one for me, baby. And that's what I tell everybody. You ain't the one.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing knock me off my ain't nothing was. Nothing. Yes.
Tunnel vision.
Nothing was ever gonna knock me off of where I wanted to go. It didn't matter. Somebody could wave. Well, if you don't go today to the gym, I give you 10,000. Well, you keep that. because my whole it was like I'm gonna quadruple that.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
just
I'm trying to
right
make
here, I'm
millions.
gonna that was
Yeah.
my mindset.
Right. Okay. Last one I got for you, OG. For you, for what you know now, you know what I mean, as far as life, the game of basketball, the business side of it. If you could talk to your 18-year-old JL3, what would you tell him? You know what I mean, for everything that you know right now, you know what I mean, to help shape the steps of life.
That's actually a good question because I actually felt like I did everything right. No, I'm just being honest. Like I did everything right. Never been arrested. I just did. I just, I was scared of my dad. First of all, a lot of people don't want to admit, but
Yeah.
I'm still scared of my dad to this day. That's my man. Like I don't call him Coach Lucas
Yeah.
or not. That's my dad. Like even when I'm around, we in the league, I'm like, Dad, what's up? Mom, what's up? It's the
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm 40 years old, like he still got a voice. Like he still, my whole
Yeah.
thing was
That
I didn't
power.
want anything to tarnish my last name. And so like if I could go back be 18, I think I would, because I made the sacrifice. I was in the gym. I did straight A's. I'm a stand up person. You know what I'm saying? Like I stand on morals. I stand on six principles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was instilled in me at a young age from my dad and the older homies I was hanging around. Was love, loyalty, life, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Like that was instilled in me. It still is, and it
Yeah.
is what I go by.
Yeah.
And I also think that's why me and Pooh end up being close, because I think our morals and the understanding is like close. And it was before I even got to Chicago.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about but those are the six principles I stand on, and it was like because that was ingrained in me as a young man. It was like and never lie.
Yeah.
One thing about you can ask anybody about me, I ain't gonna lie. My daddy tell me straight up, you don't lie. You just stand on all 10. And if you know,
Keep it
even if
real.
it's something like my daddy's way, you can come tell me anything. Just don't lie to me, and just don't have nobody tell me something that you didn't tell me.
Mm.
And so if I got in
That's
trouble,
tough.
first part I'll be like, the teaching I'll be like, hey, this is what happened. This is ooh, I did that. Like, and I knew whatever consequence came with it, I had to stand on it. But he knew. So
Yeah.
when they
Live with
called and
it.
they
Yeah.
thought they was telling him something that he was like, oh no, he already told me. Yeah.
And not too many people do that
Like anything, like it
at
could
all.
be, you name it. It could be whatever. Like, and I just always kept
Yeah.
my circle tight around me. Because at the end of the day, it's like what my last name and who I am. If one of my friends, whatever I'll give you an example. Like one of my friends, we all at 7-Eleven, right? We pay for our stuff, but he steals something. We don't know that, so we all walking out.
Mm-hmm.
This is an example. They would never say nobody else's name in the paper, or when something comes out, they'd be like, "Well, John Lucas's son," and I ain't nothing. I paid for my
Yeah.
thing, but it's
Yeah.
because so I kept my circle tight. So I never rode with a lot of people. Only rode with my two cousins, my little brother. But all my homeboys might be far
Yeah.
behind me, or 3 cars behind me. I would never, like, I ain't never, it was either gonna be my cousin Joe, Josh, or my little brother Jay with me. But
Yeah. They know not to
yeah,
be on that around you.
and
You
that
know
was
what I
the
mean?
thing I was saying about Almighty Bakes when he got caught with the pit. I'm like, he need to change his circle around him, because ain't no way you gonna let him get in the car when if you did know that that's in there. You got to protect the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my
For
whole issue
sure.
with Stats.
Got
Like, yo,
to.
you gotta protect this. Like, ain't no way I'm gonna put my little brother in harm. If I know he got a chance to make it, ain't no way I'm be like, oh yeah, you can take my car. Oh man, hold on, you can't take my car. Let me go get these up out of here before you get in the car.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's your
Talk.
circle tight
Talk
because
heavy.
everybody don't have your best interest. And I'm not speaking. I don't know that situation. I'm just saying like certain
No, yeah,
situations
for an
is like
example,
so
I got you. Yeah.
my guys knew like and you know back in Houston there's a lot of haters. You know, it's a lot in every city.
Mm-hmm.
People gonna hate every city. So you know people want to fight for no reason or this and that. My homeboys be like, "We got it." Yeah, or they
Now
be
you good.
so
Watch
and
out.
so
You know what I
boo
mean?
or talk to me. He ain't doing nothing. Talk like that's how my guys were, and then my bet, and they still with me to this day since the sandbox. That's how close. Like my circle tight. Yeah,
And the
them
real
the
ones,
ones
the ones
that
you keep around you.
If they say they want something, do something. Let's go. You know, it was more
Yeah.
protecting. It's still
Yeah.
like that to this day. So it's more like for these young kids, it's like make sure your circle tight, right? Like if you know
Yeah.
like your man,
Keep real
like
ones
I
around you.
used to be like, you know, we used to go eat after the games and stuff, and we used to do this thing where everybody put their credit cards in, and we might go eat at like Maestro's or Ruth Chris, and everybody put their cards in, and we have the waiter pull the card out. That's who got to take care of the bill. Like you don't know how much the bill is or whatever, right? But if I knew one of my mans was like, man, then I'll just take care
Messed
of it.
up. Mm.
But
Like you said,
it's not if I know
loyalty. That's
he
what you
messed up, there's
stand
no
on.
need because you know how everybody crack jokes like you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna have my man feel no like if I know you ain't got it, I'm gonna take care of it. So
Mm-hmm.
we ain't gonna nobody gonna know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
that's what I be
Real
trying
one.
to feel in these kids, especially like all my kids love Gunner, right? The whole like they and you know when he walked away, it's I was like, all right, like like I can't listen to him no more. Right. It's
Yeah.
like if
That's
you're
what you
gonna play
stand
them
on.
type of games and you're gonna play like I try to tell y'all want to be all this and be all that, like you gotta be ready to come with what comes with that. And
Yeah.
a lot of the
1000%.
kids that I
10
train,
toes down.
they ain't from the trenches. They living good.
They
Yeah, they
talking from the
huh?
get-go, OG, huh?
I don't know. We got a couple more days before Christmas. You're excited, huh?
No, but after yesterday, what was yesterday?
Yesterday, I'm on a podcast, baby.
What was it?
Hold on. Wait, wait.
No, you good, OG. That was my last one for you, OG.
Yesterday was Wednesday. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow Friday.
No, I'm talking about what the days. Today is the 5th day?
The 15th.
The 5th.
Yes. He's excited. But
No,
that
man,
is
we all good.
you know, I just try to instill with everything that, you know, what this world is really capable of, like really just messing up with these youth. Like it's really messed up because it's not
Yeah.
it's not enough guidance. A lot of people are lost. And so my whole thing
Yeah.
is like if you're in my presence and you under my roof and you under my training, you gonna get the real. Like I can't fake him. I can't be phony. And half the time I tell them straight up, I might not be for you. I'm not. I might not be for you.
Yeah.
I'll help you find somebody who is for you though. But I, I want
Mm-hmm.
dogs. I don't care how nice and how many Instagram
Yeah.
followers and all this you got. Like you trash to me. Like you ain't
Mm-hmm.
you ain't
Keep it
fundamentally
funky. Keep it
sound. You got a
funky
lot
with
of cracks in your foundation, right?
you. Yeah.
And
A lot of
the ones that
people
can
can't
take
take
it,
that.
the realest thing I ever heard a little kid tell me, and it was like a 9-year-old. He was like, "Well, show me," and I said, "I got me one, but I got you." He
Mm-hmm.
like
Ain't
I
too
was
many
like,
of them,
you know, my
OG.
whole thing. I try to break these kids. I want them to cry.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how bad they really want it. Because then now you can see what
Yeah.
you're working with. To me, kids are like a canvas, blank canvas, and so now it's basically on who is going to get the right way, and it's a lot of people
Absolutely.
that's not really doing it with the right intentions, selling, and then
For sure.
when the kids don't get to
Giving
where
people
they
a
told
dream.
them they could get to, you don't hear from that person. The kid don't hear from that person no more, or hear from the people who was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And when they don't make it, it's like now they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you can look at like Mike Beasley
For
talked
sure.
about it the other day. That was a powerful podcast he did. Yeah,
On the pivot, right?
that's
I cried,
powerful.
man. I cried.
And nobody knew he was like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us knew what he was going through, but ain't nobody know. Like he finally opening up. He like letting people know, like I'm effed up out here, man. I done took care of all these
Mm-hmm.
people. Ain't nobody here no more. Ain't nobody, you know. So it's like my whole thing is like, if you once you come under that JL3 umbrella, you locked in with me for life,
Yeah.
and that's my mission. So
And I'm a
it's like if you underneath my umbrella, we gonna figure it out. Even if we
mm-hmm.
locked in, you can call me if you need anything. All my kids got access to me. They can call me anytime, drop it, whatever, no matter what night. Even if it's to talk about certain situations or whatever. Like, because coaching to me is four things, and I just the last thing is it's a mentor, it's a counselor, it's an educator, and positive conflict. Coaches is to me.
Mm.
I'm mentoring these kids. I'm a counselor because I'm listening and trying to guide these kids. I'm educating. I'm teaching these kids how to move through life, how to move through this game, through basketball, how to be a stand-up citizen, you know, through the ball. And then the positive conflict
Yeah.
is we're not going to agree on, like, I hate the word conflict because everything confrontational conflict. But this, so I just put the P
Yeah.
on it. Positive conflict. It's still positive. Now, how can we come together and figure out a solution where we both get what we need and we both are succeeding, even though we bring to the initial
Yeah.
initial thing. So that's what coaching is, and that's
Yeah.
basically, like I said, them 6 principles, and that's what the 4 things of coaching is to me.
For sure. Powerful stuff right there, OG. You know, I just know somebody gonna, you know what I mean, take that in and let them help them. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I
As they
mean, I hope
navigate through
so.
life.
That's the
You know
whole
what I'm
point for
saying? So
everybody to be here, to leave a mark before you up out of here.
for sure. For sure. For sure. OG, no, I appreciate you always, my guy. You know what I mean? Go enjoy the fam. Stay safe. You know,
Already,
all that.
G.
All love
Anytime,
from me
G.
to you. Appreciate you.
I bet. Go.